We're going to turn off this light, get some natural light coming in. There we go. So I'm coming at you today with the Tobh, or the Ziadi, whatever the hell you want to call it, the Ziadi or the Tobh. This is the clone. um, Obviously, I'm going to buy the clone as these Addies are kind of expensive, the authentic ones, and I do buy all this stuff that you see me review. So could you imagine all the numbers, how much the vape budget, my vape budget? I say take out, just think about your vape budget, and then, but I always overspend. So I'm not one to do as I say, not as I do, I guess. I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world. But here's a Tobh anyways. Let's go ahead and get this thing over with. I'm not going to rebuild it or anything. It's just another atomizer. But it is one of the better ones, okay? And the reason why I say one of the better is because it's good straight out of the box. No modifications needed. The airflow is perfect for even a 0.3 ohm load. With this Tobh, I only need 2 air holes on both sides open. So I have a third air hole that I don't even use. So if I go below that 0.3 ohms, then I'll start using that third air hole, which I don't like to do anyway. So this has adequate airflow. Very, very adequate airflow. The greatest thing about the Tobh is, so if we take it apart, we have the base with a generous juice well. I can't focus it in close mode, but now we have this top cap. Now we're going to go ahead and put on this top cap just to put it on, get it over with. So the drip tip comes off, but what's great about this is that top cap, on the top cap, the top part comes out of that top cap. The reason why this is so great is because it makes dripping so easy. Okay, you no longer have to take off the whole top cap or kind of do guesswork dripping down that drip tip. Is both coil saturated? Is it not? Is one coil saturated? Do I have enough juice in there, kind of thing? Dripping down the drip tip, which is what I do on single coils, so I don't have to worry about saturation of these 2 wicks. But on dual coils, such as this, you do have to kind of worry about the saturation of the wicks. Both have to be saturated. Secondly, this suffers the same problem as the Stellaire does. It's only meant for dual coils, meaning you can't really cover up one side of the hole. Now this is not a problem for me because I have clear tape, Scotch tape, and that takes care of that. So I never thought of that as too much of a negative, although I could see where it can be a little bit of a negative. I'm going to go ahead and juice her up. This is not a fully charged battery, but this top cap just goes right up on there like this. 2 air holes open, just in case. I'm going to pop this off and see if my air holes are on that coil. Fantastic performance. Great flavor. Great flavor, great performance. So what I noticed is 2 air holes is pretty perfect, but I like to open it just a little bit more at 2 1/4-ish air holes. This really opens up the airflow, but at the same time, I kind of lose a little bit of that flavor. That's why I run it in 2 air holes, usually. So let's go ahead and go back to 2 air holes. And let's compare this to my current favorite RDA, which is the Stellaire, my favorite mod. With the Stellaire, I do the same thing as I do with the Tobh, except that this whole section comes out. So I guess it could be a little bit more work than the Tobh. So definitely the Ziadi does win as far as stripping convenience, because you have this whole grip sleeve that comes out, and it does sometimes get a little bit messy. Sometimes. So that's the kind of Ziadi has the win on that as far as stripping goes. But airflow placement, the Stellaire still has it hands down. Flavor, Stellaire still wins. Flavor, Stellaire still wins. baby production, Stellaire still wins. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. This Tobh is a great Addy. It comes second. It is definitely in my top 5 RDAs. Delicious. Alright guys, so this is me after about a few weeks to a few months, actually a month into me using this Tobh. And I said that it does not produce as much flavor as the Stellaire. This is again my favorite setup still to date. It's a GP Pabst brass clone on the Stellaire. And I'll tell you what, this produces just as much flavor as the Stellaire on a variable voltage. This is my little homemade variable voltage device here that I have. I have it at 4.4 volts right now. Producing a whole bunch of vapor. And even more flavor. So that's what I got. The Tobh produces, it works better with variable wattage, variable voltage devices, and I can only assume it's because it has that 3 smaller holes. As far as the kind of one gigantic hole setups, it works really well with the mechanicals in my opinion. But when I build this down to 0.3, 0.2, it does not. It performs just as well as the Stellaire or the Zenith, but the flavor is lacking with the Tobh when I do build that low. Instead, I just build a little bit higher ohm coil, still in the sub-ohm range, and crank and jack up the voltage. And this thing just produces fantastic amounts of flavor. So the Tobh, absolutely great Addy, especially on a variable voltage device. Even on Hanomod's clone, or the authentic Hanomods or whatever, any DNA device, the Tobh will perform fantastic. I've been using this Tobh daily. I've been using the Stellaire daily, and so these are kind of the two atomizers that I've been using daily. It tends to not leak, and that's kind of the biggest issue for me, is the leakage. And the fact that you could drip the Tobh so easily, and as far as the Stellaire, I changed the O-rings here, so again, I could drip it just like the Tobh can, so easily, that these two are pretty much my favorite atomizers at the moment. That's all I got for you. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. This video is long due. I've just been holding back on it just so that I can give you guys an update. Today, I'll be going back to back. I'll be going over the Origins and the Storm in one video, and then I'll try to pump out a couple other videos. Just because I've been getting pretty busy lately. So, hopefully today's the day I can kind of pump out videos and upload them today. Alrighty.